What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns.
You always catch me off guard. At the past 3 episodes, I'm like doing something stupid and you start.
Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns. In this episode, we're doing another episode of SEAL Team because you guys love it. We love watching it, so we're going to keep on rolling with it. Kurt, you mentioned something about doing a SEAL Team marathon.
Yeah, so it's...
Comments went bananas about that.
Yeah, by far, it's the most requested episode or show that we do.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, maybe we do it.
Let's keep going with it. So, and for everybody else that's requesting, trust me, it weighs on me a little bit when you guys are like, I keep asking. I'm like, it's on the list, and we keep just working through the list, but that list is really long. So trust me, I read the comments. I care about you guys and what you're saying, all the positive ones and the ones that have been with us for a long time. I really do care about your comments and your influence on the channel. You guys influence this entire channel. This isn't just us doing whatever we want to do anymore. We've kind of developed a bond with our audience, and it's a give and take. You guys say what you want, we do it. We try to give you guys what you want, so it just goes back and forth. And we have this kind of like fun relationship where it's turned into what it is. And I'll be honest with you, for us, it's perfect.
Yeah, and the cool thing lately is a lot of you guys are actually filmmakers, and a few of you have sent us your films to look at, and actually later on we're going to review one of those. So if you guys are making films and you want us to check it out, send it over. We'll check it out.
We'd love to check it out, and especially if you guys need some tactical advising for those that are like doing it at the big level, we would be happy to do it. To make it, because our goal is to make, we really want better movies to come out, honestly, because we're getting kind of tired of watching Hollywood step on their cranks and force us to watch kind of poopy tactical movies. But also know that our focus is also on our major project that is currently shelved. Hopefully by the time you guys see this, you'll have already seen it, or it'll be showing in this episode. We happen to be working with 320th for their selection process to show you guys, and we did a really amazing show about their selection process and becoming a Green Beret. It's called The Next Generation. And we can't wait to show it, and it's ready for you guys to see. This is not us, doing asking a bunch of civilians to come and we smoke them thing. Like, this is the real deal, Special Forces selection, and we were there to watch and go through the whole thing.
Camp Landing is in Stark, Florida, which is probably one of the worst places you would ever want to do an SFRE.
It's called the Special Forces Readiness Exam. You can come right off the street as a civilian, active duty or guard, different branches. You can be a Marine or in the Air Force and try out for the unit.
I was going for a miracle. I'm an older guy.
No, it's about business. It's about the standard. It's just my job to just show up and just get it done.
I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
For this show, we just wanted to peel back the curtain and show people what it's truly like to become a Green Beret.
We want to see that grit and determination more than anything. If you refuse to get back up, then it's a failure.
For this selection process, we had 60 high-speed people show up. I promise you that none of these guys are gonna leave the same way that they showed up. They have no idea what they're in for.
Whatever led you here, you must have been lying to yourself about the reality of it.
Bro.
Yeah, we got unprecedented access. Like, this
has
only been done kind of once before, and it wasn't nearly as good as what we did.
Yeah, so this is gonna set a new level, and it's gonna change the game for why we are here, and for what everyone else has to live up to that standard is, hey, you don't just get on and say you're a Green Beret or say you're a Navy SEAL and start running your suck. You have to show these guys what it takes to get there and give them some insight and some background, because we could really take this to the next level.
Yep.
So that's what we're gonna do. Let's jump into this episode of SEAL Team.
Now, so we have this. And his defenses are pretty dug in.
What's good news?
Good news. Anybody?
Good news is he's been expecting a hit for a couple years now, so his guys are probably getting pretty lazy.
Look at that, you get a case of beer. So what are you thinking, Ray? Helo infill?
That's what I'm thinking.
Right, where?
3-click offset from the compound, patrol to the target on foot, take out a single.
So this is like pretty legit to how we plan military operations. But my God, this is the most elaborate sand table I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, that thing is legit.
Most of the sand tables that I've used before, you have like MRE crackers or like components and rocks and stuff like that. These people have a full-on like mock 3D printed village, it looks like.
You know what's nice about that is having a budget.
Yeah, right?
So instead of, hey, you guys build your sand table, it's, hey, let's tell us what you want and we'll have someone else build it for you.
It's like, I'll give you the coordinates and you guys, and so that means that they have people that are there and their only job is to make this sand table. Could you imagine like the train, the hobbyists, the little train tracks they could produce these people make?
Dude, it would be sick. And it just goes to show, like when I was in Robin Sage, we did a crappy sand table at one point because we were doing a time-sensitive target. And nobody understood the mission because we were like, oh, this is our sand table. And I was like, wait a minute. I was the team sergeant at the time. And I was looking at it like, north is not north. South isn't south. I was like, so I just like pause, timeout. Because you could just check off the block and we could move forward, right? But I was like, where are you going? Where are you starting and where are you going? Just ask a random person. I'm starting here and I'm moving here. Wrong, because that's not north. So you're starting at the wrong location based on the sand table and you're infilling to the wrong location. All those little mistakes during planning start to stack up, and that's how you have these huge catastrophic incidences when it comes to your plan taking place. You have to get it right at the sand table level, and everything has to be as close and accurate as possible because people are visualizing the sand table and they're realizing, okay, I'm going to see a big building off into my right as I come in. It's the little one to my left that's my target. Yeah. And if you are completely off and they walk in and they run into this and there's no buildings at all, you just ruin their whole op for them.
Yeah. When you actually get on the ground and you see like, oh, this is exactly how it was on the sand table, it helps out so much.
Yeah, you have to have it that way.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. Just that they showed the sand table. I've just never seen one that was that detailed and that awesome.
That's why the show's so great. They choose to focus on the details that we care about.
Yeah.
Instead of being like random stuff that Hollywood thinks we care about. It's like Tyler's there saying, no, this stuff is important. This stuff is what SF guys care about. This stuff is what you need to focus on. And planning is huge.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that a Tier 1 unit would have the budget and the logistics to have a sand table like this made. So it's pretty realistic, I believe.
Free these women from Jamal Mazari for years. Government will not do it. Now you want. So this is the opportunity to end this slavery. That soldier, I will watch him personally. You can't trust me.
You want me to trust you?
Yes.
So as a Tier 1 unit, I'm sure that they're mostly used to working unilaterally or by themselves. But as SF, this is something that we would do pretty frequently.
That's our bread and butter.
I'm sure like you worked alongside these guys, like the Afghan commandos in Afghanistan. How were they in your experience?
It's hit or miss, man. They have a Tier 1 unit, and those Tier 1 guys could be cowboys, and they're very much like everything you see us do. It's almost like they take it to the next level. The Afghan Tier 1 guys were just straight up unpredictable, wild. I mean, they're straight cowboys, like super dangerous in their tactics. They don't listen to us. So at one point I was like, we're going to do this. And they're like, you guys could do that. We're not doing that. We think that's stupid. We're going over here. And they just leave. And our whole thing is we're working with them. Yeah. And so I'm like, whoa, dude, pump the brakes. You guys are just going to dip. And they'll very much let you know you're not in charge here. We run our own shit. And so then you have to recock and be like, okay, let's fix this. What do you guys want to do? We'll meet in the middle. That's Tier 1. Their Tier 2 guys are the commandos, and they're very much like, listen, you guys are running the show. Some of our guys are brave. Some of our guys are not going to do anything, that they don't want to do. So it's constantly hit or miss, and you have to judge the type of unit you're working with, the type of people. They can be very scary. Like we've had special operations, commandos that are amazing and brave, and then we've had ones that won't even load their weapons. They won't shoot. We were in contact one time trying to clear Klotz, and I see this guy smoking a cigarette, hiding behind a wall, just like tapped out. He's like, I'm not doing it. Jeez. I've seen tier 1 guys falling asleep in their gunner hatches, like completely sleeping while we're taking contact, and they're just taking a nap. The dude almost got shot in the head by an RPG. So it's really, it's hit or miss, man. You get like the worst of the worst, and then the most cowboy. I've never thought I would look at somebody and say, you're cowboying too hard, until I saw these tier 1 Afghans, and I was like, dude, you guys are cowboying too hard. Like, you're just off the cuff everything. And they're out there, man. They're just sending it.
That's wild.
It's wild. But trust is definitely never an option.
Yeah, I'm sure you're always second-guessing each other. I mean, there's been too many green on blue incidents, which is when, one of these guys turns on the Americans.
Yeah, and I'm not going to trust you, period. And it's not a personal thing. It's because your goals are different than my goals. I may trust that you're a good dude and that you're a brave guy, but you come in contact with your cousin that also happens to be a fighter, and now all of a sudden your loyalties shift in an instant.
Right.
I'm not taking that risk. If you're not American and with me, I don't trust you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Story over, hands down. I don't care what kind of cool guy speech you give me. Nope. Absolutely not.
You'd be like Sonny.
Yeah, but all day, our job is to tell them, of course we trust you. Because we're building rapport.
Right.
We're going to tell you we trust you, and we're never going to trust you. No. Not a chance. What Sonny's doing right now to this guy, Jerry, my Charlie, I've caught him choking soldiers out like Afghans. I caught him Afghan pinned up against the wall trying to murder him. And he found out that Afghan was given information on the NMRG.
Oh.
And Jerry ran with the NMRG, and he was like brothers with the NMRG. Like, he trusted the NMRG. That was his decision with what he went through with NMRG. And if you guys don't know, NMRG are, I don't know if we're supposed to tell you, but they're important in what they do. But Afghan's kind of over. But they're important people, and they do a solid mission. I actually met an NMRG guy on a plane and was like, "You're NMRG?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And he was just on a flight for one of our trips.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he had an NMRG thing on his backpack.
Oh, wow.
And he was an Afghan. I was like, "Yo, you're NMRG?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. I was with this team and this team." And I was like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" So anyway, this guy, Jerry, found out he was giving up information on the NMRG because the NMRG doesn't exist. And we had to come out, and Jerry was choking him up into the wall, and we had to pull him off.
Jeez.
Bravo 6. Entering mass orders.
So there's a couple things in this scene. First off, last SEAL team episode we talked about the flex linear charge. Mm-hmm. So this one, you get to see the guy run up. He's got this big, looks like a big stick in his hand. That's a rigid linear charge. If you remember that episode, I said the flex charge is just breacher's tape that has det cord wrapped on it. This is the same thing. It's just hard. It's normally like a piece of styrofoam or a piece of wood. And it just goes and connects to the door, and they blow it up that way.
Did you guys cut recesses into yours for the det cord?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you'll take a piece of like 2x2 wood, and you'll just saw out a recess in the center of it, and that way it has a flush mounting surface to lay in your det cord. So that, and then you put the double-sided tape on, and now your linear charge breaks in half. So you could fold it in half, which you're just doing with tape, a tape connection in the middle, and then that way you could stick it in your back like Leonardo, and then open it and then stick it to the wall.
Yeah.
So it's fun because arts and crafts with demo.
It is, and that that's a good way to explain it, because we did a lot of arts and crafts with demo, whether it was C4 or flex linears, rigid linears, silhouette charges, which is where you put a hole in a wall that's the size of a person basically to walk through. But the other part on this scene was it's kind of a rare tactical error on the show, at least in my opinion.
Standing in front of the window?
He's like standing right in front of the window. What's funny is I just listened to the Anti-Hero podcast with Andy Stump, and that's how Andy got shot. He did the same thing. He was standing in front of a window like that, and then rounds started coming through. But you see, like, he's standing right in front of the window, looking down the building, but that window's just wide open right next to him. So from what I saw, nobody cleared it. The room obviously isn't cleared.
Yeah. There's
a piece of drapery flapping right there, so he doesn't know what's inside that building.
Yeah. And another mistake that I noticed, and it wasn't a filming mistake. It was we're not used to working with counter forces, with partner forces mistake, and we know but it's actually real in the fact that maybe CAD guys, SEALs would get this mixed up, Rangers, because they're not used to working with a counterforce. We would know not to make this mistake. We don't run neck and neck with our counterforce. We don't do it. It's not smart. It's not safe. It's a bad decision. You send them forward and you come in after, and that's very much on purpose. As a Bravo, my job was to teach the counterforce. I keep saying counterforce, the partner force, how to shoot, move, communicate. And I'm teaching them basic infantry tactics. I'm not teaching them SF skills. I'm teaching basic infantry to get online, shoot at the same time, things like that. I'm not going to stand with them and move at the same time, not because I'm afraid, it's because their TTPs are different than mine. For example, we took in our partner force at one time, their TTP was to clear by fire. So every time they go into a room, they're just blasting the whole room with live rounds. So the first couple of times we go into combat with these guys, and we're like, wow. We're like, oh, it's on. Someone's in there. So we run in to go with them and to start trying to kill the bad guy. And they're like, clear. Like, what do you mean clear? You just fired off a mag. And they're like, yeah, it's clear. The bad guys in there, they're going to come out. And I'm like, what is this, Major Payne? Like, if he in there, he ain't happy? Like, no, dude. And that particular time, the group sergeant major was out there with us. And he goes, what the hell's going on? And we're like, we're working on that, sir. Sergeant Major, ignore that. Everything's fine. We'll talk with him about that. So because of these random come out of nowhere TTPs, you don't go with them.
Yeah.
You let them go first so that you can evaluate what they're doing, you could see the tactics, and you could play manager. Because you got to think of it, a lot of the times I would be myself with 15, 20 commandos. So why would I jump in the stack? I need to manage what's going on, I need to see what they're doing, and I need to communicate with my other teammates who are also by themselves with 15, 20 people. So we're certainly not flowing in one stack.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Talk, we got a bunch of women and children. They're in pretty bad shape. Vanessa, gonna need you in here.
Yeah, this is Bravo 6. We secured the first room. No sign of Mazar.
I don't know if you picked up on that, but the partner force guy, the guy that they're saying they trust with the beard, he was the one throwing the bangs. And every time he went to throw a bang, someone's arm reached out to hold him. And that was just a don't overexpose kind of feeler. So that way, if he had to, he can grab him and pull him back in.
Right.
That's not like, oh, we don't trust you or disrespect or anything like that. That is like you're getting, focused on what you're doing, which is to throw that flashbang in. And I need to make sure that you don't rush in by yourself. And again, I hate to have a story for everything, but that happened to us. We were stacked on a wall and the commando ran in first and we weren't going in. And so we started taking contact, and then we decided we're going to pull back and re-engage, and we pulled back, and that commando was still in there.
Oh, by himself?
By himself. We left the commando in a compound with 3 enemy commandos by himself.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's why that guy, if you see he's like reaching out for him, it's like, do not go in.
Right.
Because we don't know if you're going to throw a bang, and your TTPs, again, are to throw a bang and go.
Chase after it.
Chase after it, because Criff does that. They chase bangs. So they'll throw a 9-bang in, they're going in as they throw it, so that way they could shoot through your disorientation.
Jeez.
So he's just reaching out, and I saw them reaching out for him. I was like, I don't know what you're going to do. Don't do it. Stay with us. Because if he started to go, you can grab him and pull him back. Like, no.
I don't see it, Jason. 11 women, 12 beds. Okay, you stay with them. The rest of us, let's go.
So I just wanted to point this out. That lady, I can't remember what her name is in the show. No, it doesn't say it. I forget her name, but she's a CST. Did you ever work with CSTs? Mm-hmm. So that I think a lot of people don't know what the CST was. It was a unit that was stood up, I want to say like 2010, around there. And it was an all-female unit, and they worked specifically with special operations, and they were the ones that were going in doing stuff like this, basically dealing with women, because culturally over there, men aren't supposed to be searching women, talking to women, really, doing a lot of things like that. So the CST was a role that was that was made to do that. I don't think that they're still around. I think that they were disbanded. They had varying levels of success from what I've been told.
Well, that's what bothers me about shows like Lioness, though, is they're like, oh, these all chick tier 1 operator BAs. And it's like, no, that's not how it worked. Just because tier 1 operator chicks existed as, what are they when they're connected to us? Enablers, like that doesn't mean that they're running and gunning with us. So like if we were to have, it doesn't have to be the females, any connection to us, any of the enablers is going to stay back until we call them in. So we're going to flow in, take care of business, do our thing, and then, hey, we need this, we need that. And then they come in just like a SWAT team with a TAC medic.
Right.
A SWAT team's going to go in, clear, and do all the shoot, move, communicate. And then they're going to call the TAC medic and be like, hey, bro, move up.
Right. That's not that person's job.
It's not that person's job.
Kick in doors
is to kick in doors and move like that. It's the same thing for this. But then they're creating these whole shows like Lioness about how all these women like doing everything on their own and being special operations guys. I was like, that's not how it is. Like maybe if you're creating like a futuristic where it could be one day, sure, I could buy that. But if you're trying to say that that's the reality of it because these units technically exist, you didn't do your research well enough. You're trying to create something that's not there. You're like, wait a minute, women were with tier 1 guys? Oh, they were their own BA. And it's like, oh, let's dive into that. It's like, oh, you're getting it wrong.
There's actually a documentary just came out, or is coming out. I can't think of the name, but it's about the CSTs. So I'd like to watch it and
it'd be
learn
cool.
more. I don't know that much about the unit. I just know why they were stood up.
Here's the thing. I'm sure they did amazing stuff that was super cool. That was super high speed. Mm-hmm. The issue with Hollywood is they don't care. They see an agenda. Let's take women and put them in the leadership role and make it as cool as possible because we want to force this agenda. Instead of saying, hey, what have women done that's really cool? Let's highlight that because it's real, it's awesome, and they deserve the credit. That would be cool because now it's history, we're learning, and it's accurate. Instead of being like, well, let's just fib it a little bit because it's not real enough. Yeah, so there's no reality to support it. Let's just fib it and make them that. And
that show SEAL Team? Let's do that, but with women.
Yeah. I was like, all right, well.
Jason turns to Jessica.
Yeah, exactly. All right, to finish my tangent. So they're going to make a show about Green Berets, and they're like, we want to base it off Kurt and Sean, right? And we're like, yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. And then we sit down and we watch the movie or the show, and everything is a lie. So it's like Kurt and Sean are doing Halo infill into water, and we're coming out and we're killing everybody first shot, and it's just this total tier 1 insane badassness, right? So they make this show about us, and we're like, we didn't do any of that. So now you're essentially telling me that what we did wasn't good enough, it wasn't cool enough, that you had to lie about it.
Right.
To make us look cool. That's embarrassing to me.
It is, yeah.
So how do you think women feel when you say we're going to make a movie about women, but then we have to exaggerate everything they did? Why can't you just make it about the reality because women have done very cool, very awesome things?
See you soon, General.
I just thought that was gangster.
Yeah, that was dope.
It was like, just know we can reach out and touch you whenever.
Yeah. The cool thing is that's pretty much GRS job. So those contracts that, you know, the GRS guys were involved in, pretty sure that's like their main bread and butter is going with CIA assets so they can make these dangerous connections, and then you're the security.
Yeah,
so you're planning the infill, you're planning the exfil, you're making sure it's as safe as possible, and if, you know, everything hits the fan, you're the expendable person that's there to get the CIA agent out, and then anything happens to you, oh well, because you're a private contractor. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one. Oh, and don't forget, guys, if you want some nice clothes, please go check out Barbell Apparel. They've been our main sponsor for a long time now because we love their stuff. As you can see, we're always wearing it, and that's not just because we're on camera. I wear Barbell all the time now. I'm pretty sure everyone at my gym thinks I'm like personally sponsored by Barbell because I'm always in it, but I love their stuff. And the best part about them is if anything happens, you outgrow it, you could send it back. So I'm pretty sure the deal is if you're a member, you send it back for free and get it back for free. And if you're a non-member, you pay for shipping and then you get it back. So that's a good deal versus having to rebuy clothes that end up costing a lot of money. So it's really nice that if you outgrow them, instead of just being out that money, you could just send it back and get new ones. Nobody that I know of is doing that. So I think Barbell deserves the credit for leading the way on that front and essentially accepting that risk, saying our clothes are good enough and you will want to keep them.
Yep, and I actually tested that recently because I outgrew my shorts and I had to get some more shorts, and they were able to send me some more shorts. So
there you go.
It was awesome.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.